haven't touched on is the sort of thing I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are thinking about, which is cheating, which is the big thing hanging over any tutoring platform
Mhm,
or any homework
mhm.
help platform. What is your approach to preventing cheating, and how successful are you at that?
Not only do we have guidelines that tell tutors, okay, well, across all areas, not even just cheating, here's what you can and can't do with a student. Here's what's allowed. Here's what's not allowed. Within the concept of teaching, if a student comes and says, do my assignment and so forth, here's how you're supposed to respond, right? Different students may come onto the app with different levels of persistence on having the tutor do the work for them. So the tutor is responsible for recognizing that and based on that, adjusting how they approach it. Let's say a student says, I will literally, if you do not give me the answer right now, I'm not gonna name any companies, but I'm gonna go use that company to get the answer, right? So it'll be like, okay, well, how about this? How about I'll still give you the answer, but how about we do it this way? Let's do a video call. I'll share my screen, and I'm just gonna run you down through the problem. Line one, line two, line three, line four. You just have to watch me solve it, and if once I get to line like whatever the final line is, you'll get your answer. All you have to do is watch. But while that's happening, the tutor is probably asking questions like, why do you think I did this? Or just trying to get them to be engaged. And then let's say they give them the answer. We think that even though at the end of the day, they didn't necessarily do any solving, we can compare this to watching an educational video on Khan Academy or watching an educational video on YouTube. It's a different form of learning, but at least we were able to show them a few things and have them at least use their brain a little bit because we know that if we had just said no, we're only going to tutor you the traditional way. Let's actually all be honest with ourselves. They're going to open up that AI calculator app, go on the app store. There's a bunch of those AI, take a photo, get an answer,
Mhm.
ChatGPT, get the answer just like that. So for us, we did a push to the right direction versus default.
The comparison to something like Khan Academy, the difference with that is that if I need to solve a problem, I can go to Khan Academy and I can watch someone potentially solve the exact same kind of problem. The difference would be that I'm watching them solve it with different numbers, different calculations, potentially slightly different setups, something like that. And so my brain is working to make the connection between what they're doing and what I need to do. And that's the basis of learning much of math or science, where it's all scaffolded, it's all based on prior knowledge and applying the prior knowledge to the current thing that you're trying to solve. The difference is that in the scenario that you outlined, the student doesn't need to use their brain very much. Like they can kind of go through the motions and say, yeah, sure, yeah, I get it, okay, and then the problem gets solved for them. How confident are you that said student who is intending to cheat by using your platform is actually going to have a sort of a come to the light moment of, oh, I understand that this actually is something that's important, versus just continually coming back to that tutor and saying, hey, I'm going to just go to Gen AI again. You better show me how to do this problem. Like, are you able to track that? And have you seen those results really turn around?
Yeah, no, first of all, great question. And everything I'm saying today is from actual data and experience. There's no
Great.
speculation.
Hmm.
Every tutor approaches it differently. I was giving the example in the worst case, like this is the worst case scenario, by the way. Like
Oh,
usually you should
absolutely.
start off
Yeah.
with the best case scenario, right? The
Yeah.
worst case is in a very aggressive student. This is not always the case, but I wanted to focus on it for the sake of this
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
But the point is, let's say they were doing the exact numbers as the assignment and the student could actually go to an AI and get the answer, right? Why would they even come pay on an app when they can go get it for free from most of those AIs, right? There's usually a
Hmm.
bigger motive. In this case, they probably have more assignments, and the other assignments the AI wasn't able to do.
Hmm.
So that's where the tutor can recognize that and understand what on this assignment, maybe I'm doing this, but for the future assignments, like clearly he's paying me for a reason. All these AI tools, a lot of them are free if you delete them and download them again, right? So he's probably gonna get help on a bigger and larger assignment. In that case, he has no other option but listen to what I say. They have more leverage there
Hmm.
and they can actually enforce more collaboration with the student. So the point is they need to build that trust. Again, a lot of other students may not even start like this. This was the worst case. A lot of times they come in off the bat, okay, just teach me. You know what I'm trying to
Right. Help
say?
me out.
But again, it's all subjective. It's all perception and different, right? Every single student is different. The way they think, the way you approach in real time, how do you handle it? But I'm giving you high level in terms of our approach and philosophy, and it's done really well because we also have a lot of students who come to us with testimonials explaining what they've gone through. We had a student, for example, who she came from India, didn't speak much English. Same thing with parents. she considered dropping out of her major because she thought it was way too hard. She couldn't survive. She was like, I credit 4 tutors. She names them all. They're the reason I survived school.
Wow.
Did you learn something just now? Get the full episode of Ways We Learn wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, we'd love to get your rating or review.